Marcel Roux is undoubtedly one of the most well-known managerial names in football. Interestingly, it is not because of individual awards, club trophies or glamorous transfers, but his longevity in charge of French side Auxere. He was born in the small town of Colmar near the German border in the northeast of France in 1938. At 16, Roux made his first team debut for Auxerre in the local league, beginning a relationship with the football club that would span half a century. Association de la Jeunesse Auxerroise, Auxerre or Auxerre, is a French football club based in the Burgundy region. It was founded on the 29th of December 1905 and was quickly established as the best football club in the small area. Auxerre is a relatively minor team in a town whose population has never been more than 40,000 people. However, the town's football club has always been passionately loved by its supporters, especially in the local derbies against their initial rivals, ASVA and ESA in the early 20th century, and later against more famous teams like Gagnon, ESTAC, Troyes, and Dijon FCO. Interestingly, Auxerre is one of 7 professional clubs in France to still own its stadium, Stade de l'Abdetion, named after their founders. After several years as a decent player, playing for Auxerre, Stade Poitiers and Limoges, Roux returned to Auxerre to attend the friendly match against the English team Crewe Alexander in 1961. Due to some injuries in the visitors' team, he played against his former club in the second half as a volunteer. After the match, the president of Auxerre, Jean Garnou, made an offer for him to come back to play for Auxerre. Roux would accept on condition of being a player-manager. Although Roux lacked experience, Auxerre's president decided to hire him because of Roux's low salary demands and a 6-page letter setting out his vision for the club's development. This is how the legendary story of Roux began.
On va faire des têtes, hein? Alors faire une tête, c'est dire bonjour, hein, comme ça.
Despite having existed for more than 50 years, Auxerre could not manage to get promoted to the professional national divisions. For its first year under his leadership, the Burgundy team finished in 5th position out of 12 in the Auxere division. That's the 4th tier of French football. His official job title of a player-manager certainly did not tell the complete story, though. Roux combined day-to-day training tasks and picking the squad with dealing with all types of transfers, operating the club's switchboard, and persuading local farmers to donate their goat manure for the club's playing fields. Aged 23, he had already become one of the team's most renowned managers. About 10 years later, in 1970, Auxerre won the Burgundy Championship of the Auxere division, thus reaching the French 3rd division. Roux retired as a football player right after that outstanding success and focused entirely on his managerial work. The talented coach established the team in the French 3rd football tier, and the Burgundy club finished in the top 6 in the next 4 consecutive seasons. Auxerre's performances led to them reaching the last 32 of the Coupe de France in 1972-73, being knocked out of the competition by an Arsene Wenger-inspired AS Mudzig team. Just a year later, Auxerre finished in 4th place and got promoted to the 2nd division because of the ineligibility of the top 3 sides. Despite promotion, the team still had amateur status, but was obliged to hire financial and administration staff. Roux's team continued their progress, reaching the last 16 of the Coupe de France in 1975-76, another record for their modest squad. Maybe it was only a matter of time before Roux would achieve something unexpected, with a small but passionate club such as Auxerre, and without a doubt, the biggest surprise in French football in the 1978-79 season was the Burgundy club. Auxerre seemed to be inspired by the manager and reached the final of the Coupe de France. The club had never gone beyond the round of 16 before that. In the quarterfinals, Auxerre beat Lille, a Division 1 team before eliminating RC Strasbourg in the semi-final. The team had just won the Division 1 title. It was the first time since 1933 that an amateur French club had reached the final, and the first time since 1959 that a second division club had reached this level. Despite the loss in the final against FC Nantes, Roux' name was already being talked about in French football circles. The rise to the highest level was obtained in the following season, and Auxerre debuted in Division 1 on the 24th of July 1980 against Sporting Club de Bastia. Although Auxerre lost their first match, the team finished 10th position in the final standings. Many observers wondered whether such a minor club could sustain themselves in the French top tier, but Auxerre would remain there until 2012, 7 years after Roux' departure. In the 1983-84 season, Auxerre climbed the podium for the first time, finishing third, which also meant a debut in next year's European competition. The team was unlucky to face Portuguese giants Sporting Club de Portugal in the UEFA Cup and were eventually defeated. However, their first European victory was not far away. In the following season, again in the UEFA Cup, the French side shocked the Italian Colossus Milan, winning the first leg 3-1 in what was Paolo Maldini's European debut. Although Auxerre was eliminated in the return match, the team's performance was widely praised. Roux' impressive Auxerre side performed exceptionally in the subsequent European competitions, reaching the UEFA Cup quarter-finals in 1990-91 and semi-finals in 1992-93. It was an epic European campaign where the team eliminated Lokomotiv Plovdiv, FC Copenhagen, Standard Liège and Ajax, the defending champion. Borussia Dortmund was a formidable opponent and eliminated the modest French side on penalties.
Oui, mais on en a vu 6. Alors sur 6 matchs, ça n'est plus aléatoire. Nous en avons vu à l'extérieur, nous avons vu à Dortmund. Il y avait aussi Alain Thibault qui allait faire des repérages en plus de nous. Et donc on pouvait recouper toutes nos observations et être très renseignés.
The following season, Auxerre won their first major domestic trophy under Roux' management, the 1993-94 Coupe de France, after a glorious 3-0 victory over Montpellier HCS. 2 years later, the French side was on the top of French football, winning a tremendous double, its first and only Ligue 1 championship title and second trophy, the Coupe de France, defeating Nîmes Olympique 2-1. It was genuinely Auxerre's peak, 90 years after its foundation.
Oui, une image sympa, Thierry. Oui, et Jean-Michel, très belle image.
Redoutable et vous pouvez féliciter son entraîneur, mon ami Pierre.
They had the best attack and best defense throughout the championship. What a legendary performance. Auxerre's first participation in the Champions League was another solid European campaign that ended in the quarter-finals after elimination by Borussia Dortmund, the future winner of the competition. Roux won his first European trophy in the summer of 1997, beating German side Duisburg in the UEFA Intertoto Cup. He added 2 more trophies, with the Coupe de France in 2002-03 and 2004-05, but never regained the Ligue 1 championship. As a coach, Roux was hardly an innovator. He had no great tactical master plan, no shape or strategy that can be traced back to him. Instead, Roux' hard work and discipline were key. Despite implementing the 4-3-3 tactic, as soon as Auxerre became part of the professional football, Roux did not rely on natural wingers but offensive midfielders. His backline consisted of 4 defenders, all practicing individual marking and a libero. The middle comprised of 2 holding midfielders. In 2000, he decided to change the scheme, making it more defensive by copying the modern 4-5-1 formation. Roux rarely had significant amounts of money to spend in the transfer market, but he implemented youth development projects and focused on developing local talent.
Jamais, bien sûr, il ne m'amène un joueur que je n'ai pas demandé. Jamais je ne conclus un transfert moi-même c'est toujours eux qui font les discussions financières.
Basile Boli, Eric Cantona, and Djibril Cissé have all come through the ranks at Auxerre and were prominent squad members on its glorious path to the Ligue 1 Championship. Cissé is still the club's record transfer fee received. He was transferred in the summer of 2004 to English giants Liverpool for €20 million. Among other top players from Auxerre Academy were famous players such as Alain Goma, Pascal Verrier, Raphael Guerreiro and Philippe Mexes. Some of the club's most impressive and successful signings were French World Cup winners Laurent Blanc and Stéphane Guivache, who played a significant role in the Auxerre Championship season. In fact, Guivache became the most expensive arrival under Roux' management for the sum of €4 million.
Si je sais pas s'il me voit ou s'il contrôle, enfin je sais pas, ce que le ballon je sais qu'il vient sur moi. Moi je l'accompagne du ventre et puis après je finis, mais bon c'est une action classique.
Many international players left a decent impact on Roux squads, but one of the most outstanding personalities was the clinical Polish striker Andrzej Zama, the all-time goal scorer in Auxerre history, who played for the club between 1980 and 1985. And won the favour of the legendary French coach. Since 1963, Auxerre's chairman was Jean-Claude Hamel. Throughout Guerrou's career, Hamel had always supported him, and their work together helped the club improve the training facilities significantly.
J'ai commencé à rencontrer Roux quand nous l'avons pris donc comme entraîneur, il y a aussi 33 ans, 33 ou 34 ans peut-être. Et donc je l'ai eu, moi, président. En tant que président, je l'ai eu comme joueur.
AJ Auxerre stands out for being a European benchmark in terms of training. The club of which, along with FC Nantes, is one of the pioneers in training young prospects. Aged 66, Roux finally stepped down in 2005 with a coaching record of 894 Ligue 1 games. Despite his 4 spells with some temporary breaks in 1962, 2000 and 2001, the name of Roux was associated with Auxerre for 53 years. His longest managerial reign without a break is 36 years, 5 months and 29 days. From January the 1st, 1964 to the 30th of June, 2000. He may not be one of the game's most successful managers in terms of trophies won during his career, but Roux is a true footballing phenomenon. Having been hired as an inexperienced player-manager of Auxerre at the age of 23, Roux set about transforming what was a tiny provincial club into one of the powerhouses of French football, and arguably the most well-run football club in all of France.